Hi, I'm Heather from Press Pause Yoga. Welcome to your beginner's movement practice. We'll start lying down. Keep your knees bent and have your feet flat on the floor. Make your feet slightly wider than your hips and place your hands on the ground next to you. Take a moment to tuck your tailbone, so you might push down with your feet, lift your pelvis, tuck the tailbone under, so more of your low back can lay down on the ground. Allow the knees to fall together and pause. Here, the focus of our attention is the body. We're noticing what we can feel. So you might like to wiggle your fingers and your toes, feeling the yoga mat or the carpet underneath them. And now see if you can bring your shoulders down and back a little bit more underneath you. And then tuck your tailbone again and lay it flat down on the floor. Feel the back of your head on the earth beneath you. And see if your body could sink, could melt a little deeper into the ground. This practice is going to be about feeling more into the body, and a lot of that we can notice what's happening in the spine. Let's begin with bridge pose. So move the feet now so that they're hip distance, and then bring the hands closer, palms flat on the floor, shoulders again pushing back down into the floor. And then push down with your feet and lift your pelvis up. We're going to try and lift the pelvis about as high as the knees. Breathing here for a moment, pushing down with the hands and feet, and start to squeeze the muscles in the back of your body. So in the back of your bottom, back of your legs. Hold for one more moment. And then carefully drop down. We'll do 2 more of these bridge pose. Coming up. And coming down. All of your attention keeps coming back to the body. One more time. Notice how you can push down with your feet. Feel strong in the back of the body, the earth supporting you. And then down you come. We're going to come to a big, strong stretch now, lifting the arms up and overhead. They can absolutely bend if that feels good. And then lift your feet up to the sky. Knees can stay quite bent as we feel into this stretch. Feel the work that's happening in your low back. You can probably feel it in your shoulders and armpits and chest. And slowly work to millimeter by millimeter straighten the legs. See how deep you can go in this stretch. It is not about straight lines. It is not about what yoga looks like. I invite you to find a stretch that feels just the right amount of challenge for you in this moment. Stay for a little while longer. Go deeper if it feels okay. And then lower the legs down. Press the soles of your feet together on the floor and let the knees open out wide. Hands can float down onto the body now. Reclined butterfly pose. So the 3 poses that we've already had today are constructive rest, reclined butterfly pose, and bridge pose. Finding your way up to a seat now. Let's keep the knees bent. Sitting with the spine nice and tall if you can. So just noticing what's here, shoulders down, feeling your sit bones and your feet still supported by the earth beneath you. Good, and then come all the way over onto your hands and knees. You're looking down at your hands, spreading the fingers very, very wide, feeling the tops of the shins and tops of the feet on the floor. Feel if you can find length in the back of your neck here. And just see any small movements that help there to feel like there's more space there for you. We're becoming more and more aware of what's going on in the body. Okay, now see if you can lift up your tailbone. You lift your bottom up towards the sky and you'll feel your low back dip and your belly kind of sink down towards the floor. Now slowly start to lift your head and chin as high as feels okay. You could even lift your gaze up, looking up. Lovely, and now tuck the chin all the way in, round the tailbone, and push with your hands away from the floor, rounding the spine. So this is cat and cow. Cat stretch here, cow pose here. Moving between the two at your own steady pace for a few rounds. And if you've got sore wrists, fists could be a good option here. From here, we're going to find our version of child's pose. The knees can come a little bit wider, the toes can kiss together, and move your bottom as far back as you can. Might not go all the way back to the heels, and then drop down with the heart, tiptoeing the fingers forward. See how deeply you can go into this pose, feeling a stretch in your hips and thighs, and through the armpits and arms as well. Returning to hands and knees or tabletop position. Let's try working with the wrists a little bit, the hands, our wonderful foundation. Let's move the hands out, this time fingers pointing from side to side, and gently tick-tock left to right, keeping the hands spread very, very wide. This can be a huge stretch. Loads of strength being built here as you move the weight deeply over to the left and then the right. Great. Coming up to a high kneeling position now, let's give some circles to the wrists. Push the back of one hand down and hold. And the other one just the same. We're coming to the end of our yoga practice, and all yoga practices finish in Shavasana. So we lie flat down. It's really nice, if you'd like to bring a cushion underneath the back of the knees and lay the body flat down. See if you can notice any tingling, any sensations at all. Can you feel your heart beating? Can you feel clothes against your skin? The ground beneath your body? Closing the eyes for a moment to rest. And knowing that this is just the beginning. An introduction to spending time and noticing what's there in your body can be different each day, and we welcome it with curiosity. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.